You ever feel anger rise up out of nowhere? Or you didn't even realize that it was anger that you were feeling and you pushed it away, or worse, suppressed it, and then it came out sometime later when it wasn't appropriate? Or something small hit you way harder than it should? Well, then you might be able to relate to my story, because just last week I had a client who agreed to working together with us in our online marketing agency for lawyers. And he was all fired up, and we had even scheduled the kickoff call. But when it came to the kickoff call, the client hadn't signed the contract yet. So the first thing I said in the call is, look, we can't really work together or do this kickoff call because I'm still missing the signed contract. So the call was over after 5 minutes, and he said he was going to get the signature, but it would never come to that. What happened then? Nothing. So I waited 1 or 2 days before I asked them, what's going on? Why are we not proceeding? And I just received an email consisting of 2 lines, and it said, thank you for your time, Julian, but we decided to not proceed with you. And I said, what? How is this possible? They had given me a verbal yes, agreed to a kickoff call, and then out of nowhere they say no without explanation. And I felt this familiar feeling inside, that warm, hot feeling in the chest. And I didn't even think at the moment it was anger. But now, as I'm talking and reflecting about anger, I realized it really was anger. And maybe you've been there too. You prepared for something and you did a really good job and you think it's working out, and all of a sudden it just backfires on you. And when I asked them again, they said my price was too high. And they mentioned something like 14,000 for the collaboration. And it was basically double the price. Not the price I was talking about in the Zoom call or that was put in the contract. And that's when I realized, my gosh, I think they didn't even listen. Or at least one person of that company I was talking with didn't listen, because he had the completely wrong price in his head. And he probably didn't even look in the contract. Or he did look, and it was maybe not formulated so well, and he misunderstood the whole thing. And so you see, it was a big misunderstanding in the end, but I was still feeling angry about how everything unfolded. And the bad part about this whole story is that I was giving this a lot of energy, because I couldn't think for other things for maybe half a day, or I might have even lost one full productive day because I got stuck with my anger. I thought, why in the world did this happen? I couldn't focus on anything else. I was angry that they didn't ask questions, angry that they apparently didn't really listen when we had the Zoom conversation. And I was angry at myself that I cared so much. And then something interesting happened. I reflected on what happened. I thought to myself, well, what did happen here? And I think with the additional time I'm having right now, being on separation from my wife and in part from my 2 kids, I got to realize that in the past, there were situations like this is where something would get me off and I got angry and I didn't even know it was anger. And I think I pushed away the feeling and I even suppressed it. And I went home and then I acted passive aggressive, or I let it out on my children being like really impatient, brushing their teeth and things. And I was still rewinding what was happening at work. So the issue was I wasn't really able to recognize the feeling of anger and what it was trying to tell me. And if you ever done the same thing, acting as if everything was okay during work only to take it out later on your family or where it's not appropriate, then you can probably relate to this. Then I gave this even more thought, and I realized that anger really serves as a signal. It's not to destroy our days and to make our lives miserable. It's there because it acts as a signal. It wants to tell us something, that something is off. So if anger has been showing up for you lately, then it's probably not because it wants to ruin your day. It's there because it wants to show you something. So whenever you feel angry, it's because probably something feels completely off inside. maybe someone crossed your boundary, or you didn't feel respected, or maybe you felt you lost control, or maybe something didn't feel fair. So anger comes up to protect that part of you. And once you see what anger is trying to protect, it starts to lose its power over you. It's like anger is telling you, hey, stop, pay attention, something is off. I'm trying to tell you something. Please stop, reflect. And the moment you do, it starts to calm down. I used to think that anger meant I was not doing something right, and I was not supposed to feel anger at work. So I pushed it away and acted as if everything was okay. But I didn't resolve the feeling by really looking at it, what was happening there. And the worst part is when you don't detect that you're feeling angry and you react instead of respond, that's bad. So what does it mean? For example, you react by writing an email like fast, by reacting in an unreflected way, and that usually creates more problems. So the right thing to do is to stop, see what's there, feel what's there, and analyze quickly and come to the conclusion that this is off, or this is off, or this is not the right, this is what's happening with me. So the thing is, even successful business owners do get angry like everyone else. But successful people, they have found a way to decode the message faster, decode, like they realize faster what's happening, that they're angry and why they're angry. So instead of reacting and possibly destroying things by not saying the right words or offending someone, just, look at the thing, breathe, take a pause, and then maybe respond one day later after reflecting of what has been happening. So here's what's been working for me. There are 5 ways you can deal with anger, and maybe it will help you too. First, pause before responding. Do not react, do not destroy, do not become aggressive. Second, write it down, reflect on it, journal it. Third, move your body, get outside, take a walk. Fourth, talk with someone, share it with someone you trust. And fifth, create something, work on something creative. So anger's job is really to wake you up and not to run your day. So if you've been angry lately at your clients, your wife, your children, yourself, don't beat yourself up. You're not broken. You're just being reminded that you care. Don't suppress it, understand it, learn from it, and let it move you towards something better. Because anger doesn't make you weak. It just means you still care deeply. Last time we talked about joy, today is anger, and next time we'll talk about sadness. That's what happens when anger fades away and what stays after anger is gone. Talk to you next time and take care.